Finished beef cattle weigh 330 pounds more today than 40 years ago. But meat cutters still try to maintain retail package weights equal to those from decades ago. Meat scientist Gary Smith explains.
Part of that is because the average family size has been reduced. It's now 1.7 people per household. And so the ideal package in a retail market is somewhere between 3/4 of a pound and 1 pound. So if you're going to sell a steak, and it actually is bigger in size, width, and depth, and length, the only way that you can stay within that package target is to cut them thinner.
Meat cutters and purveyors have long complained that ribeyes are getting too big, declaring something must change along the beef supply chain. But economic signals to produce more pounds have overpowered those voices.
So rather than trying to tell the people at the packing, feeding level, or even way back at the cow-calf production level, you got to make cattle smaller, that's just not going to happen. So what we have to do is determine how we're going to deal with the fact that they are going to get progressively larger, and determine how it is that we can sell those at retail to people with no knowledge of how to cook anything.
Consumers who get poor results with thin steaks switch proteins and cost the beef industry an estimated $8.6 billion per year in lost sales. If retailers won't innovate to cut thicker steaks, a whole new marketing approach might be in order.
I think we've hung on to things like T-bone and porterhouse and top sirloin, and I don't think that means anything to a millennial. I think we'd be much better off if we would have a row in the retail presentation that says braise, and another row that says skillet, and another one that says pan broil and whatever.
A recent Texas Beef Council study found 356 different beef cuts offered at retail, up from a more basic 90 cuts 40 years ago. But Smith says no name-based system will work well with millennial shoppers.
And we spend a lot of time in these grocery stores watching them. And if anybody thinks they're going to stop and look up a bunch of things on their cell phone and figure out how you would cook that if you got it, I don't know who that's supposed to be, but we didn't see those. There's somebody that comes up and in 5 to 10 seconds they pick something, go home, and they're going to cook it in the skillet, whatever it is. A lot of cases we found that they were saying, these are the 7 different ways that you can prepare this piece of beef. That's confusing. Why don't we just predict what it will taste like in the end and say the best way to do this is broil, the best way to do this is crock pot, and stop confusing them with too much information.
Food for thought. While producers might worry less about making cattle smaller and just focus on making them better. I'm Bob Cervera.